Remember the whole Trump collusion, the Russian collusion rubbish? The Democrats, the media and the left across the world went wild for this nonsense, that the 2016 election was stolen by Donald Trump, that he colluded with and was effectively installed by Russia. Even our tax dollars in this country were spent peddling this nonsense as truth.
Tonight, we begin our special three-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia. Tonight, secrets, spies and useful idiots. In the second part of our special series on Donald Trump and his Russia connections, we bring you the story of two key players central to the allegations of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
I kid you not, they called it the story of the century and ran a three-part series. I mean, these people here at Australia's ABC swallowed this conspiracy theory and fueled it, holus bolus. They suggested Vladimir Putin controlled the White House.
The Kremlin's puppet master now has America dancing to his discordant tune. He couldn't have planned it better.
OK, so how's it all going? Well, it was clear to many, even back then, that this was nonsense. The so-called Steele dossier pushing this conspiracy against Trump was started by his enemies and pursued by the Democrats. That's why feverish efforts to impeach Trump over this case while he was president failed. But now, fresh investigations and indictments in the US are exposing Democrat complicity and foul play.
The primary subsource of the 2016 Steele dossier, Igor Danchenko, indicted on 5 counts of making false statements to the FBI.
Greg Palcott joins us now as Special Counsel John Durham's investigation into the origins of the Russia probe heats up. Greg, good morning.
Hello, Carly. Hello, Todd. That's right. More indictments handed down in the investigation of that questionable dossier looking into possible Russian links with former President Donald Trump. Take a listen to this excerpt. For example, during July 2016 meetings in country so-and-so, PR executive gifted to Russian Subsource One an autobiography of Hillary Clinton, which he signed and inscribed with a handwritten message to my good friend, first name of Russian Subsource One, a great Democrat.
The former Director of National Intelligence, JohnRadcliffe, sees the latest developments as vindication of his work.
We had specific intelligence that Hillary Clinton was creating a plan to vilify Donald Trump, to falsely accuse him of ties to Russia. And the intelligence community and the FBI knew this. And President Obama, Vice President Biden were briefed by John Brennan and James Clapper and Jim Comey in early August of 2016. And John Solomon's earlier point was right. It all should have stopped at that point. Everything related to the Steele dossier was known to be untrue, but yet it was the predicate for moving forward with an unjust, unfair, and ultimately now everyone accepts a criminally negligent investigation against the Trump campaign.
He explained how all the evidence pointed to the opposite of what was being pushed in the political and media world.
When I became the Director of National Intelligence, I said, listen, I want to see all of the intelligence about this supposed Russian collusion. And what I found was, and as you're finding out, is there was, of course, no Russian collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. But what I did see in intelligence documents, some of which I've now declassified, that there was collusion involving the Clinton campaign and Russians to create a dossier.
Special Counsel John Durham has now charged 3 people with lying to or misleading the FBI over the Steele dossier. There are many politicians and journalists in the US who are watching this intently and not reporting much of it because it exposes their deceptions and duplicity. Back in Australia, I wonder if the team from Four Corners have been watching it.
Why is Four Corners important? I live in America, where we've just seen the catastrophic consequences of what happens when a shared belief in truth and facts breaks down. So Four Corners' continued commitment to those things may actually be one of the most important defences for Australian society.
Really? Truth and facts? When will we see an apology or correction from the ABC over this utterly absurd manifestation of Trump derangement syndrome? produced at taxpayers' expense. We all know about how Trump was, since the election, has tried to delegitimise his election defeat. That's been ugly and indefensible. Certainly been criticised strongly on this program. But you have to wonder how much he and his supporters were fired up by this elaborate media political conspiracy designed originally to delegitimise his election victory.